Ukrainian forces have reportedly delivered a significant double blow to Russia's war effort this week, utilizing mid-range precision strikes against key logistical and command targets deep within occupied territory. Military intelligence sources indicate that multiple strikes, likely involving ATACMS missiles, successfully hit several ammunition depots and fuel reserves in the Donetsk and Luhansk regions, along with at least 2 identified command posts. These attacks, conducted over the past 72 hours, aim to disrupt Russian supply lines that are critical for sustaining offensive operations on the Eastern Front. The strategic targeting forces Russian commanders to relocate vital assets further from the front, increasing logistical strain and response times. This tactical shift underscores Ukraine's growing capability to degrade Russian combat effectiveness and potentially shift the momentum on the battlefield. The ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine continues to provide invaluable geopolitical and military lessons, according to a recent analysis by the International Forum for Geopolitical and Military Studies, IFIMS. Published this month, the report highlights the critical importance of drone warfare, advanced logistics, and the resilience of national infrastructure in modern conflicts. Analysts emphasize that the extensive use of unmanned aerial vehicles for reconnaissance and strike missions has fundamentally altered battlefield dynamics, while the vulnerability of supply chains has proven decisive. These insights, drawn from 4 years of intense fighting, are now shaping defense doctrines and strategic planning among NATO allies and other nations. The comprehensive study serves as a critical resource for understanding the future of warfare and enhancing global security preparedness. A recent assessment by the Small Wars Journal has delved into Russia's sophisticated network warfare tactics employed throughout the Ukraine conflict. The report, published in late March, details how Moscow has integrated cyber attacks, disinformation campaigns, and electronic warfare into its broader military strategy since the full-scale invasion began in February 2022. Specific examples include targeted cyber assaults on Ukraine's energy grid and telecommunications infrastructure, alongside extensive online propaganda operations aimed at sowing discord and undermining public trust. These tactics demonstrate Russia's intent to degrade an adversary's societal cohesion and operational capabilities without direct kinetic engagement. Understanding these multi-domain strategies is crucial for national defense planners globally, as it reveals the evolving, complex nature of modern conflict and the pervasive threats to national security. Defense strategists are currently engaged in a critical discussion about the evolving nature of hybrid warfare, with projections extending into 2026, as highlighted by a recent Defense IQ forum. Experts define hybrid warfare as the blending of conventional, irregular, cyber, and information tactics, often blurring the lines between state and non-state actors to achieve strategic objectives without crossing the threshold of conventional war. The Ukraine conflict serves as a primary case study, demonstrating the efficacy of coordinated cyber attacks, pervasive disinformation, economic coercion, and proxy conflicts. This ongoing evolution demands comprehensive national security strategies that integrate military, diplomatic, and economic responses. The insights gained are vital for nations worldwide to adapt their defense postures and counter complex, multifaceted threats in the coming years. Russia commemorated Victory Day on May 9 with a noticeably downsized military parade in Moscow's Red Square, held under exceptionally tight security measures. President Vladimir Putin presided over the annual event, which featured fewer armored vehicles and no aerial flyover, a stark contrast to pre-war displays. Security was significantly heightened across the capital, including extensive road closures and a ban on drone flights, reflecting ongoing concerns about potential threats amidst the conflict in Ukraine. In his address, President Putin reiterated Russia's commitment to its special military operation, framing it as a defense against perceived Western aggression and a global struggle against Nazism. The reduced scale and heightened security underscored the persistent strain of the war on Russia's resources and its domestic security posture. Geopolitical analysts are increasingly asserting that the ongoing tensions surrounding Iran are evolving into a proxy dimension of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Recent intelligence reports and expert assessments from the Council on Foreign Relations indicate a deepening military and strategic alignment between Tehran and Moscow. This connection is evidenced by Iran's continued supply of Shahd drones and potentially other weaponry to Russia for use in Ukraine, while Russia reportedly provides advanced military technology and potentially nuclear assistance to Iran. This emergent partnership complicates international efforts to de-escalate conflicts in both regions and deepens the global divide between Western-aligned nations and this developing axis. The intertwining of these two major conflicts presents significant challenges for global stability and regional security dynamics. The week of March 14 to 20, 2026, saw continued intense fighting across Ukraine, particularly along the eastern front, as Russian forces maintained offensive pressure in the Donetsk region. Humanitarian organizations, including ReliefWeb, reported a significant increase in civilian casualties and displacement, with hundreds of thousands now facing critical shortages of food and medical supplies in frontline areas. Ukrainian defenders successfully repelled dozens of assaults near Avdiivka and Bakhmut, though both sides suffered heavy losses. Infrastructure damage continued to mount, with multiple reports of energy facilities being targeted, further exacerbating the humanitarian crisis. This period underscores the war's relentless human cost and the urgent need for sustained international aid to support affected populations. As Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine marks its 4-year anniversary, a comprehensive statistical overview highlights the devastating human and economic toll of the conflict. Reports compiled by PBS and various international bodies indicate that over 10,000 civilians have been killed, with estimates for military casualties on both sides reaching into the hundreds of thousands. More than 14 million Ukrainians have been displaced from their homes, with approximately 6.5 million becoming refugees across Europe. The economic damage to Ukraine's infrastructure and economy is estimated at over $400 billion, requiring massive reconstruction efforts. These grim figures underscore the immense scale of the tragedy and the profound, enduring impact of the war on a nation and the global community. The Atlantic Council has recently highlighted an emerging and critical dimension of the Ukraine conflict, the coming compute war, signaling a profound shift in modern military strategy. This concept refers to the increasing reliance on advanced computing power, artificial intelligence, and sophisticated data analysis to gain battlefield superiority. Ukrainian forces are already leveraging AI for intelligence analysis, drone swarm coordination, and predictive logistics, pushing the boundaries of military technology. The race to develop and deploy autonomous systems, enhance cyber warfare capabilities, and real-time decision-making algorithms is intensifying. This technological arms race suggests that future conflicts will be heavily influenced, if not decided, by a nation's computational prowess and its ability to innovate rapidly in the digital domain. Russian forces have reportedly launched a new offensive in Ukraine, primarily focusing on the eastern Donbass region, while President Volodymyr Zelensky concurrently expressed deep concern over the potential impact of the Iran conflict on the ongoing war. Intelligence reports indicate that Russia deployed thousands of additional troops and dozens of armored vehicles in a renewed push to capture key strategic towns over the past week. Simultaneously, President Zelensky warned that any direct Iranian military support for Russia, particularly advanced drone or missile technology, could significantly alter the dynamics of the conflict and prolong the fighting. This dual development marks a critical escalation on the battlefield and underscores Ukraine's anxieties regarding Russia's deepening strategic alliances. The BBC has confirmed through leaked communications that several dozen Cameroonian military contractors have been killed while fighting alongside Russian forces in Ukraine. The confirmation, based on intercepted messages and subsequent corroborating testimony, indicates that these individuals were recruited, often from prisons or through private military companies, to bolster Russia's depleted ranks. Their deaths highlight a lesser-known aspect of the conflict, revealing Russia's global recruitment efforts to sustain its war machine. This development raises serious questions about the ethics of such recruitment practices and the involvement of African nationals in a European conflict. The tragic loss of these individuals underscores the far-reaching human cost of the Ukraine war and the complex web of international engagement it has fostered. The Carnegie Endowment for International Peace recently posed a critical question: is a conflict-ending solution even possible in Ukraine? Experts and diplomats are currently grappling with the profound challenges of achieving a lasting peace, given the maximalist demands from both Kiev and Moscow. Ukraine insists on the full restoration of its territorial integrity and accountability for war crimes, while Russia continues to demand recognition of its annexations and Ukraine's neutrality. The protracted nature of the fighting, now entering its fifth year, leaves little room for a negotiated settlement that satisfies both parties, raising the specter of a frozen conflict. This ongoing analysis underscores the immense diplomatic hurdles and the deep-seated disagreements that continue to prevent any clear pathway to a resolution. Ukraine is undergoing a remarkable transformation, evolving from a nation heavily reliant on international aid to an emerging security provider and innovator, according to recent analyses by the Atlantic Council. Driven by the necessities of a full-scale invasion, Ukrainian forces have rapidly adapted Western military equipment and pioneered new tactical approaches, particularly in drone warfare and electronic countermeasures. This ingenuity has led to the development of indigenous defense technologies and a wealth of combat experience now being shared with allied nations. The country's resilience and capacity for innovation are repositioning it as a valuable partner in European security, influencing future defense strategies and potentially leading to future defense exports. This evolution significantly reshapes Ukraine's international standing and its contributions to global security. A recent opinion piece in the New York Times posits that the war in Ukraine has profoundly changed the world in ways we are only just beginning to comprehend. The full-scale invasion, launched on February 24, 2022, has triggered a cascade of global ramifications extending far beyond the battlefield. Analysts point to a significant realignment of international alliances, an acceleration of the green energy transition in Europe, and a re-evaluation of global supply chains. Furthermore, the conflict has spurred increased defense spending among NATO members and revitalized discussions on national sovereignty and international law. These sweeping shifts are reshaping the geopolitical order, economic systems, and international security paradigms for decades to come, underscoring the war's enduring and transformative impact on every continent. Ukraine solemnly remembered its dead this past week as the full-scale invasion by Russia officially entered its fifth year, marking 4 years since February 24, 2022. Across the nation, President Volodymyr Zelensky joined citizens, military personnel, and families of fallen soldiers in poignant ceremonies. Moments of silence were observed, flowers were laid at memorials, and bells tolled in remembrance of the tens of thousands of lives lost, both civilian and military. These acts of remembrance reinforced national resolve and honored the immense sacrifices made in defense of the country's sovereignty. The somber anniversary served as a stark reminder of the war's devastating human cost and the enduring spirit of resistance among the Ukrainian people. The state of Texas and the Smithsonian Institution are currently locked in a high-stakes custody battle over the permanent display of a retired NASA space shuttle, as reported by the Wall Street Journal. At the heart of the dispute is where a specific orbiter, an iconic artifact of American space history, should be permanently housed. Texas, citing its deep historical ties to space exploration through the Johnson Space Center in Houston, argues for its right to host the shuttle. Conversely, the Smithsonian asserts its role as the nation's premier repository for aerospace artifacts at its National Air and Space Museum. The outcome will not only determine the future home of a significant piece of national heritage but also carries millions of dollars in potential tourism revenue. This contentious battle highlights the intense competition for iconic historical artifacts and their cultural and economic significance. An Italian-led astronomical team, utilizing the Galileo National Telescope, TNG, on La Palma in the Canary Islands, has recently captured a rare Einstein cross phenomenon, leading to an unusual discovery that is prompting scientists to rethink how giant galaxies grow. This specific gravitational lensing event, predicted by Albert Einstein, occurs when light from a distant quasar is bent by a foreground galaxy, appearing as four distinct images. The observation revealed unexpected characteristics in the lensing galaxy itself, suggesting it formed and matured much faster than current astrophysical models predict for massive elliptical galaxies. This groundbreaking finding challenges existing cosmological theories of galactic evolution over billions of years. The discovery represents a significant leap in understanding the universe's large-scale structure and the fundamental processes driving galaxy growth.